Hello and welcome back to another episode of Video Game Easter Eggs, the series where we take a look at some of the latest and not so latest Easter eggs in video games, with the only rule being they cannot have been featured on my channel before. In today's video, we encounter a giant Easter bunny in the first tree, we attend a banging party in America's Army Proving Grounds, and we phone home in Hitman 3. As always, if you think you know of an Easter egg that I'm yet to cover, then the best places to let me know are in the comments or on my social media accounts, the links to which are in the description. Oh, and if you do go on to enjoy this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So let's begin with even more Easter eggs from America's Army Proving Grounds. Now, some of you, much like me, were surprised that a game developed and published by the US Army had Easter eggs in the first place. Well, it turns out that we've only scratched the surface of what Proving Grounds has hidden away. First up, on the Intercept map, if you enable Ghost Mode using console commands, you can find this. So this is the same robot that we found in the last episode of this series. In that video, I said that I believe this could be a reference to Godzilla, and if I'm honest, I still believe it is. For the more curious among you, if you look behind the giant robot, you can find this. So I'm not entirely sure what the significance of this golden goat is, and funnily enough, this isn't the only golden goat in the game. During the M16A4 time trial challenge, if you ignore the trial, you can find this. So another golden goat. As I said, I'm really not sure what the reasoning is for these statues, so if you have any theories, please let me know in the comments. The next Easter egg from Proving Grounds can be found on the Red Line map, and once again needs us to use console commands to bypass a door. So a group of tiny robots just hanging out, with one looking a little bit like Wall-E, but I think that's just a coincidence. The final Easter egg from Proving Grounds, well for today at least, can be found in the prison. So America's Army uses a prison to punish teen killers, meaning that if you kill someone, you may be put in prison for an hour or two, whereas repeat offenders may be put in prison permanently, effectively banning them from the server. It's a pretty cool idea. You can actually access the prison through the use of our old friend console commands, meaning you can explore at your leisure. Now, despite being a place for misbehaving teammates, the cell with the green door should make your stay a little more enjoyable. So happening right underneath the prison is a party that is in full swing. Even Godzilla, and from now on that's what I'm calling this robot, has taken the day off to make an appearance. So it's been nearly a year since I last featured Streets of Rage 4 in this series, all the way back in episode 22 for those who care. So you can imagine my surprise to be including it in today's video. Now the Easter egg in question from Streets of Rage 4 can be found in the Y Tower level. As is customary in a Streets of Rage game, at the end of the level you're thrown into a boss fight. Now try to ignore the hulking great man who is determined to rip you in half, and instead focus on this guy. So pretty much hidden in plain sight is Donald Glover, otherwise known as Childish Gambino. His outfit and general posture in Streets of Rage 4 is inspired by his appearance in the This Is America music video from 2018. Speaking of games that we haven't featured in a while, up next is Hasheria Drifter, a mobile game with an emphasis on, well, you guessed it, drifting. Hasheria Drifter has already given us some pretty cool Easter eggs, but as was the case with America's Army, it seems there was a lot more to find. First up, on the Touge map, you can find this. So this is of course a reference to the arrow to the knee meme from Skyrim, with the helmet our skeleton friend is wearing also being a hat found in the Bethesda classic. The next video game reference can be found on the snow map and requires some pretty simple off-road driving. So this is the Frostmourne sword that belonged to the Lich King from World of Warcraft. The final Easter egg from Hasheria Drifter is actually pretty creepy, all things considered. I mean, if I'm playing a racing game on my phone, the last thing I expect is death threats, but here we are. So up next is one of the most annoying Easter eggs I've ever had to record. The First Tree is a game where you play as a fox, trying to find her missing family. This was actually a dream had by a man who was attempting to reconcile with his father in Alaska. I promise it makes more sense when you actually play the game. Anyway, it's a heartfelt story with a pretty serious subject matter. Well, sort of. The thing that made this Easter egg so damn hard to record were these bloody bunnies. So during the first level, you need to find 5 groups of bunnies, which is simple enough. What isn't simple is catching the f***ing things. To trigger this Easter egg, you actually need to touch the rabbit. In doing so, they will make this noise. But as you can see from the gameplay, the rabbits are quick, perhaps even quicker than the fox, which made this extremely frustrating to do. Anyway, all that matters is that I did do it. After touching the last rabbit, head back to the starting area to find this. So you thought the sight of a giant rabbit was as crazy as this was gonna get. Well, touching the egg behind the rabbit will take you to a test level where you can find various animals, including cows, which could be a nod to the secret cow level from Diablo 2. I mean, luckily the payoff for chasing those rabbits was eventually worth it, but I tell you what, I will never feel guilty about killing a rabbit in Red Dead Redemption 2 ever again. So Watch Dogs Legion was one of the best Easter egg games of 2020, with well over 30 Easter eggs and secrets tucked away. But as we've already seen in this very video, there is always one Easter egg that slips through the net. At this location on the map, you can find this. So a rooftop with various musical instruments. Now these instruments weren't left here by chance. This is the same area of London, the famous Savile Row, where the Beatles performed a rooftop concert in 1969. Now I'm pretty certain, though I can't be sure, that this Easter egg wasn't in the game at launch, which means that Ubisoft may have added some more Easter eggs that we are yet to find. So the final Easter egg for today's video comes from Hitman 3, and is one of those Easter eggs that I love. Now what I mean by that is, I love Easter eggs that require multiple steps to complete. Sure, sometimes it's nice to find a simple reference, but ultimately the Easter eggs that make you jump through tons of hoops first are more fun. So on the Berlin level, you'll need to find 4 eggs. Here are their locations. After finding the 4 eggs, head back to the roof of the biker gang hideout and throw them at this teleporting graffiti.
I got a body here.
After doing that, complete your objectives and then head back to the roof to make your escape.
Confirmed.
So this exit was of course a reference to the classic Steven Spielberg movie E.T., which featured a similar scene. What's kind of cool is that when Hitman 3 released, so many people were convinced the bike on the roof was a reference to E.T., but it's taken this long to actually work out how to activate it. So that's it. As mentioned, if you know of any Easter eggs that I'm yet to cover, then the best places to let me know are in the comments or on my social media accounts, the links to which are in the description. Remember, if you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets and tiny details in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.